Welcome back to Games Through the Decades, the podcast where we talk about games and their impact on culture. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about gaming in the 2010s and the 2020s. I'm Cohen.
I'm Nathan.
I'm Keenan.
And we are Games Through the Decades. This sort of console generation, especially the ones we're going into now, has been mainly focused on Sony and Microsoft. Nintendo hasn't really been making a whole lot of moves other than the Wii U and the Nintendo Switch, but I wouldn't even really consider the Wii U. There's supposed to be a Switch 2 coming out at some point. I don't know when that's going to happen. Eventually.
Any day now they'll be revealing it.
So like in order of time, like the consoles came out, like 2012's Wii U, 2013 PS4, 2017 Nintendo Switch, and like 2020's PS5 and all that.
Yeah, the Xbox One came out 2013, right?
Something like that, yeah.
PlayStation 4 and its versions came out in 2013.
Xbox One. With the Wii U, I've mainly played the Wii. I don't know anything about the Wii.
So the Wii U it really wasn't too big
It was
of a
basically
jump.
just like a prototype of the Nintendo Switch, really.
It was an early prototype of the Nintendo Switch, but it was like an upgrade to the Wii, but you couldn't just buy the Switch pad or the Wii U pad.
That's the thing. People were really confused by it because they thought that you just bought a Wii U pad and hooked it up to your Wii.
And you didn't. And it wasn't good. It was not good.
The rise of PC gaming. Gaming PCs become more affordable during this time.
This is when PCs started to really become considered an actual legitimate like gaming platform, rather than just like something that you'd work on or whatever. Like, to be fair, PC gaming had been around since and probably got popular around like during like the 1990s. Especially when it came to indie games, it became so much in PC. It's much easier to get a game out there on PC rather than on console, which you need to find a publisher and
Especially with like places like Steam and all that.
Yeah, like Steam makes it extremely easy. It's much easier to get a game.
I guess do you guys want to talk about the GPU crisis now?
He wanted to talk about it, so.
Yeah, Cohen, I'm letting you off your leash here. Let's go.
The GPU crisis single-handedly like ruined like I don't know how to like
Please
compose yourself.
Yeah. So it all kind of started with NFTs because that's how cryptocurrency in itself became popular. Ugh. Basically, you need a computer to solve an equation, and that equates to, I guess, in simpler terms, like let's just say it gets a Bitcoin, but it has to keep doing equations to get more of them. So what people did was they realized the most efficient part of the computer to use to generate cryptocurrency was the GPU. So companies would buy GPUs in the thousands and buy warehouses and supercool them so that they could generate as much cryptocurrency as possible in the least amount of time, which worked, but it also indirectly hurt people trying to build PCs because everyone wanted these GPUs. Yeah, I remember when I was looking, because I built my PC during the GPU crisis. At the time, I didn't end up using this card specifically, but I was looking at putting an RTX 3060 in my computer, which goes for around $200, $300. When I looked at the listing for 3060s, they were around $700.
Dang.
When I was looking at them at the time. Pictures of monkeys caused the PC market to temporarily crash.
So I guess next we'll go into the rise of microtransactions and commercialization of gaming.
I love microtransactions. They're so cool.
Cohen, could you explain what you meant by horse saddles or the horse armor?
Okay, so the big guys over at Bethesda, they were trying to figure out more ways to make money, and one of the employees thought, hey, instead of making like big story content that costs a lot to make and it usually costs around like $20 to $30, it would be better to sell cheaper things which more people would probably buy, because you're more likely to buy like a cheap DLC like
a $5 DLC
like
versus a $30 DLC.
So they decided to make a golden horse armor set that they sold for $2.50, and that spiraled into what has become of microtransactions today.
I guess we can talk about some of the other things that have happened that have been really effective.
I feel like both Twitch and YouTube kind of really brought the gaming industry into the media. Like Twitch, if you don't know, it's an interactive live streaming service for a variety of content. They kind of really helped with the commercialization of games by providing a platform for gamers to share their knowledge.
Yeah, Twitch and YouTube both like.
YouTube kind of like boost the popularity of Minecraft, especially.
Yeah, YouTube really helped out a lot of games to get off the ground. Most indie games that are popular now were able to get off the ground because of YouTube. Because people play it and they don't need to advertise
They
it.
know about it. It's such a huge community. There doesn't need to be ads.
There was mass layoffs in 2020s, with 23,000 people being laid off from starting January 2023 all the way up to September 2024. 23,000 people. Think about that.
23,000.
That is a lot of people. A lot of them were after the Activision Blizzard merger.
Prices of games have gone up. They used to be like $30 to $40, but now it's like $70 to $80. Especially Nintendo games that come out now are like $50 at GameStop.
And then there's
They never change.
the yearly releases. That is a thing now. If you look at sports games, if you look at shooter games, everybody's doing yearly releases now just to make profits.
Yeah, most game genres now have kind of became less than they were back then.
Yeah.
It's like the highlights of them have faded now, especially with yearly release games, especially sports games. People no longer fondly look at big developers or publishers anymore because honestly, they kind of
look at them.
Yeah, just look at them.
No.
Well, that about does it for today's episode. We talked about the rise of corporatization in video games and how people don't really like that anymore. We talked about the rise of indie games and the PC market, how those have started to get more and more popular. And we've talked about the popularization of free-to-play models and microtransactions. I'm Cohen.
I'm Nathan.
And I'm Keenan. And this has been...
And this has been...
And this has been...
Games Through the Decades.